Hey, what's going on, crypto people? It is the Crypto Siege with another day in the life, in the crazy life that is the digital asset space. Good morning. A happy Sunday to you. Happy 1st of November. Guys, I hope you guys had a great night last night. Hope you had fun. Hope you had a great close to your business if you happen to have one. Hopefully, you do have a cash flow business. Really excited about the market today. As always, why? Because we're winning without question, because we're early adopters in this new asset class. So absolutely excited about that. I'm going to play a little bit of from Brian Brooks today. He's on Money. I believe he's on something called money2020.com. I believe it is. Interesting words that he uses about the banking situation in the banks. It's really very interesting. Shout out to Digital Assets Daily for sharing that big time value add to the community as well. So definitely appreciate all that you do, my friends. Appreciate you taking your time and energy to share with the community. James Rule, my dude, as always, thank you so much for sharing with the community. Yeah, guys, go out, do me a favor. If you haven't already, go check out Crypto Isis channel on YouTube. Give him a sub. He's a good guy. Give him some subs, give him some love so he can get that channel up there so he can begin to monetize. And I believe he's going to be doing some charity stuff with the monetization as well. So guys, listen, Bitcoin hit 14,000, I guess, right? I think it might have hit it twice without question. You know, I did a live stream last night and I talked about the beast that is Celsius. You definitely want to check it out. So link in the description for all of my videos for the Celsius network. Listen, just without question, it is the go-to place for earning interest on your assets, the digital assets that you own. I'm proud to be an ambassador for the platform and really be able to bring so many people onto the platform and take advantage of all that the platform has. 10.5% on your stable coins for your ma, your pa, your grandma, and grandpa, right? 16%. And this is all US numbers, 16% on Synthetics Network, 16% on Matic, the highest payout for Bitcoin and Ethereum. Wow, found out that the Celsius Network is the largest firm, the second largest firm, I should say, behind Grayscale in the digital asset space in terms of assets under management. That is a significant accomplishment in just, 3 years. All right, guys. So listen, let's share some stuff. Shout out to James Rule for sharing this here. This is kind of a recap of Real Vision from Finance from Raoul Pal that I told you guys to definitely go check out here. Investor on why Bitcoin is literally the biggest story I've seen. May hit $1 million in total and top gold's market cap. This is Raoul Pal here being quoted, if you will, on Yahoo Finance. And again, guys, go check out that video. Michael Saylor from MicroStrategy, CEO of MicroStrategy, and Raoul Pal. Go check that video out. Just go to Real Vision Finance, watch it. It's 2 hours. It'll be a great value add to you in terms of leveling up your IQ in this space. And Raoul Pal is... he is not a little guy, right? He's not a little guy. So Raoul Pal has stated repeatedly that Bitcoin's price could go to $1 million, becoming a $10 trillion asset class and possibly surpassing the gold market. Now, I've heard this time and time again. I know Tika Tawari has said it, I don't know how many times that he believes that is exactly what's going to happen with BTC. In the last year, Bitcoin's price has surged more than 47 cents to last trade nearly $13,800. Last month, the digital currency jumped more than 28%, with the market cap around 240 billion. Bitcoin is approximately the size of a large mid-cap S&P stock. Where is it? Okay, here's what I wanted to read here. This dude's background, Raoul Pal's background, is pretty significant. Investors on what is literally the biggest story ever. Influential investor Raoul Pal says the best trade he's ever found is Bitcoin, which he's described as a call option on the future and the world's most pristine reserve asset. A little bit about Raoul Pal so you guys can go check him out. Paul, a Goldman Sachs alum, previously co-managed GLG's Global Macro Fund, one of the world's largest. Since retiring back in 2004, he now authors a research letter, The Global Macro Investor, and he's going to come out with a digital asset digital asset newsletter as well, which is read by some of the most influential hedge funds, asset managers, and sovereign wealth funds. He's also the founder of Real Vision Television, an online subscription media company specializing in long-form investor interviews, where he recently shared a 35-minute video detailing his crypto thesis. That's on his Real Vision channel on YouTube as well. So guys, again, let's level up our IQ, digital asset IQ, financial space IQ. Go check that guy out. It'll be well worth your time. Let me see if I can play this video. Christine Lagarde says we started exploring the possibility of launching a digital euro. As Europeans are increasingly turning to the digital in the ways they spend, save, and invest, we should be prepared to issue a digital euro if needed. I'm also keen to hear your views on it. So let's see if we can play this.
So that consumers, and we are still in the review and consideration stage, but we've just launched a public consultation so that consumers and Europeans can actually express their preference and tell us whether they would be happy to use a digital euro just in the way they use a euro coin or a euro banknote, knowing that it is central bank money that is available and that they can rely upon. We are still in the review and consideration stage.
Interesting stuff there. I got this from Anders L., who said, yeah, just say that you're using it, right? Just say that you're going to do it. Don't use words like it's considering, and just say it's going to happen. Shout out to Anders L., big time value add to the community. We appreciate you, my friend. Appreciate all you do for the community. It's just interesting stuff. I just want a lot of you guys, because you know we do Generational Wealth Wednesdays on this channel every single Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern time. This is from the Crypto Well. Something to think about. Retirement age is 67 now. I didn't know that. It went up. Your life expectancy is 78. Work for 50 years to be free for 11 years. Does that sound like a fair deal? Yeah, it just really doesn't. Really doesn't. It doesn't make any sense to me. You know, thanks to our cash flow business, right? I walked away from trading my time for dollars, right? In my 40s, mid 40s, right? So pretty cool. It's nothing like be able to hang out with your teenage daughter, take her to work in the morning, right? She doesn't have a license yet, because you know this is the beer cold era, right? Can't even go get a test. But it's cool to be able to do that. It's cool to be able to pick her up. It's cool to have those few minutes talking to the teenager, right? It's a cool deal. You guys should seriously consider it. All right, so what else we got going on here? DJ Peter Voss shared this. HSBC executes country's first cross-border blockchain LC transaction. And by the way, DJ Peter Voss is the dude you want to follow on Twitter without question, at Peter Voss 6. Another guy who just continues to give and give and give and give to this community. We appreciate you taking your time, your energy, and your resource, my friend, to share. The article here, I'm not going to go over much of this article, but it was done on R3/4 blockchain. Here it is. The first transaction involved the import of 20 tons of fuel oil by United, whatever that is, Mymensing Power Ltd from Singapore for its power plant. Interesting. This is the first time a cross-border blockchain transaction has been executed in Bangladesh, the bank said in a statement yesterday. The transaction was completed under the Contour platform, which is built using R3's core blockchain technology, connecting a global network of banks, corporates, and digital solutions. So that's some interesting stuff right there. So it says here, this is going to take it from 5 to 10 days to under 24 hours. We all know about HSBC and the ties to Ripple, but apparently this was done in the Bangladesh region. So that's cool. Just shout out to Digital Assets Daily for sharing this. I can't remember where I saw this, I know some people covered this before, ways back, but this is an interesting statement. Stable coins for cross-border payment. Stable coin refers to a class of digital currencies which are relatively stable in terms of their price. Stable coins offer instantaneous processing and security of payments as many cryptocurrencies do. They also offer stability with respect to their parity against fiat currencies. Anyone thinking to themselves or perhaps out loud about this price and XRP always feels as though they're just trying to keep a thing stable? Really does seem that way to me. They offer stability with respect to the parity against fiat currencies. Two digital currencies that fall into this category are RippleNet's native digital currency, XRP, and Stellar Network's native cryptocurrency, the Stellar Lumen. Both Ripple and Stellar enable faster and more efficient cross-border payments relative to corresponding banking. However, they differ in that XRP is focused on improving cross-border settlement between international banks, whereas Stellar is focused on providing low-cost cross-border payment financial services to the end user and the unbanked population. That's what I've been hearing, the biggest differences about Lumens and XRP. So Ripple explained by Joel Cash. This comes from our guy, James Rule, XRP. How are you, my friend? Hope all is well. Explaining again, if you want some people to kind of understand what really goes on with the escrow, Joel Katz does it here on Ripple.com. Ripple escrows 55 billion XRP for supply predictability. Ripple's right, so you want to check that out on Ripple.com. I believe I have that saved somewhere else as well. This is the one I want to share with you guys here. Let's just take a listen to. Shout out again to Digital Asset Daily. Take a listen to Brian Brooks from the OCC. The irresistible forces shaping banking today. Let's play this. Some of this.
That conduct about 70% of all banking activity in the United States. The banks range in size from small community banks that meet the needs of local neighborhoods to the largest and most complex financial companies in the world. These banks hold $13 trillion in assets. That's trillion with a T. And they have more than $52 trillion under their fiduciary and custodial control. Most American families and businesses have one or more relationships with a bank we regulate. So when Jennifer Garner asks, what's in your wallet? The real answer is the OCC. Now, the OCC was created by Abraham Lincoln 157 years ago to ensure that our country had a system of banks that support the commerce and finance of an expanding nation in a safe, sound, and fair manner. That work includes examining the condition of these banks and taking supervisory and enforcement action when necessary to correct course. It also means providing a comprehensive regulatory framework that enables them to adapt to the changing needs of their communities. After all, these banks are the nation's financial infrastructure, and we cannot have a 21st century economy running on a 19th century system. Today, I want to talk about two unstoppable forces that are reshaping the...
Pretty powerful stuff there. 19th century infrastructure, right? Yeah, not a good. Let's listen to that again.
And we cannot have a 21st century economy running on a 19th century system.
We cannot have a 21st century economy running on a 19th century system.
Today, I want to talk about two unstoppable forces that are reshaping the financial industry and about the OCC's work to ensure the federal banking system can successfully adapt and leverage these changes to improve financial access for everyone and promote economic growth and opportunities. The first force remaking banking today is the notion of unbundling. Now, over the last 50 years, banks have become the department stores or supermarkets of financial services. The department store business model worked pretty well for the 150 years of retail commerce ever since John Wanamaker brought that concept to Philadelphia from Paris. Department stores gave consumers of the day convenience, it reduced the burdens of transportation, and most of all, it saved time. That concept made Sears, JCPenney, and Macy's household names. But something has changed. Where do you shop today to get the latest electronic gadget or the freshest dress off the runway? more and more consumers are turning to boutiques and specialty stores because technology has made it easier to shop at the source rather than having to go to the department store. It's also because consumers find the experience more enjoyable. Big box stores and discount stores still have their place, obviously, but I ask you, where are Sears and JCPenney today? And that same transition is at work in banking and finance. Less than a generation ago, our parents came to their banks to deposit checks, and they stayed for the loans and the life insurance. But today, banking services are becoming unbundled because consumers have more power and more control over their fiscal lives, due in no small part to some of the participants in this program and those of you listening. Boutiques and financial services companies that specialize in certain aspects of our economic lives deliver as much value and a better experience than department stores did a generation ago. And by bringing a laser focus to distinct problems within the delivery of financial products and services, fintech companies are providing value that some incumbents cannot. As a result, we as consumers are making choices about our money based on quality, convenience, and even social ethics. We're actually shopping for financial services in a way that our parents and their parents could not, and that change is coming rapidly. Let me prove it to you. Prior to the financial crisis in 2008, national banks conducted the vast majority of consumer lending and virtually all payment activity in the United States. But by 2018, banks' share of personal loans fell to 28%, while fintech's share of that market rose to 38%. And fintech unicorns like Square, PayPal, and Stripe have similarly captured a large and growing segment of the payments business that national banks previously dominated. Now let's look at how traditional banks have performed compared with their unbundled fintech counterparts, those specialized challenger companies that are operating discrete sectors of the banking system. The return on indexes of banks of all sizes, community banks, mid-size, and large banks, have been negative at 1 and 3 years and virtually flat at 5 years. Meanwhile, the investment returns of companies focused on individual aspects of banking, like payments companies, payroll companies, capital markets providers, core technologies, information services, and software as a service, those are up big at 3 and 5 years, 50, 80, and up to 160%. Now, admittedly, these last 12 months have not been good for anyone, but consumers are voting with their feet, and investors are voting with their money. They're both telling us that the change to unbundled business models is to some extent inevitable. As the Borg would say on Star Trek, resistance is futile. And I'm here to say that change may be good because the transformation is giving us more choice to assemble a portfolio of products and services that meet our unique lifestyles and that can evolve more easily as our life needs change. What we have to do, however, is to have a federal banking system that supports that and doesn't resist it. Now, the second change I mentioned earlier is the decentralization of finance, or DeFi, powered by blockchains and other distributed ledger technologies, the rocket fuel for which is crypto. Now, this is no small change. It could be tectonic in scale. Blockchain technology is to the financial system what the internet was to libraries and post offices. Regulators and incumbent service providers, all of them, need to get ahead of this or be relegated to economic history.
Wow. Regulators and incumbents need to get ahead of this or be regulated to financial history. That, my friends, is a pretty strong and powerful statement. The unbundling of the financial services is just the way it is. It is happening right before our very eyes. And so, wow, there's some good quotes there. I might have to do a different kind of thumbnail from that video, but interesting times we are in. And it's great to see that Brian Brooks gets it in a big way. And talking about DeFi, talking about crypto, you definitely want to go check this out if you can. It is, I believe it's on demand, but you have to register with them to get to be able to listen to this recording. It's really, really great. Really shout out to Brian Brooks, really sharp dude. Just, I think I'm going to, what I'm going to end the video with. No, I'm not going to end it. But I do want to kind of point this out to you guys. Beware of the hackers. Shout out to Sir Khan for sharing this with the community. Thank you, my friend. Hackers are now beginning to send text messages to users who registered with Ledger. Do not fall for this and do not click the link. Don't enter your passphrase and don't sign any transactions. Stay vigilant. Source Deutschland XRP. Deutschland, yeah. That's what it looked like there. It's a scam. Don't click on it. If you feel like it may be legit, go to the source directly, get out of the mail, get out of the text, and communicate directly with Ledger to find out and query about these particular things. I'm going to end with this because I just think this is huge and important. Shout out to XRP Rose. How are you, miss? Thank you so much for sharing. I have a few of these actually from Thomas Jefferson because I just think they are significant, but I'll read this one. I believe that banking institutions are more dangerous to our liberties than standing armies. If the American people ever allow private banks to control the issue of their currency, first by inflation, then by deflation, the banks and corporations that will grow up around will deprive the people of all property until their children wake up homeless on the continent their fathers conquered. The issuing power should be taken from the banks and restored to the people to whom it properly belongs. And for me, I don't think there's a better platform out there in this new fourth industrial revolution that looks out more for the people than the Celsius Network. And Alex Mashinsky and what they're doing there has been absolutely outstanding. Never in history, they were the first ones who created the DeFi platform. The first, number one, numero uno. Currently now with nearly 1.6 billion in assets under management, $8 billion done in loans. Again, like I said, the second largest crypto firm behind Grayscale. The platform pays back to you and I, the depositors, the people, 80% of its revenue, not of its profits, but of its revenue, go back to you and I. You guys know we talk Generational Wealth Wednesdays about becoming your own banker. And this is one of the platforms that you can do that, tremendously get that done, executed very, very well. Really, really excited about it. It'll be a link in the description of all of my videos because Celsius, I'm not sure if there's a guy, a platform, a company that's looking out more for you and I, more so than anyone else in this space, anyone else in this space. All right, guys, listen, I am going to wrap up this video like I do all of my videos and remind you guys of this. That old money doesn't want you to win. They don't want us to win. They would rather us remain a cog in their perpetual wheel. Thank you. Of trading your time for dollars. They don't want you and I to play in the same playground that they play in when we allow money to work for us. This is our chance to win, guys. The digital asset space is our chance to win. We are in the midst of the greatest transfer of wealth in the history of man. Are you participating, or are you standing on the sidelines? Here's what I do know, that the battle for you has already been fought, and the victory is yours. Go get it. I'll talk to you soon, guys. See ya. Bye.